Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got episode number 88 of the Los Angeles Angels franchise mode here in MLB 21, the show. We are not going anywhere. We are back for the offseason, and the New York Mets beat the Indians in the World Series. They beat them in 6, and we move on to the official offseason. Rafael Devers wins the AL MVP 1 year, goes to the National League, wins the MVP with the Reds, and Austin Meadows wins the AL MVP over Mike Trout and Matt Olson. Jesus Luzardo will win the Cy Young over Ohtani and Trevor Bauer, so it sucks for us, but Luzardo from Oakland wins that Cy Young for the American League. Luis Castillo wins it over Jacob deGrom and Blake Snell in the National League. Makes you wonder, the Reds had Castillo, who's the Cy Young, and in Devers, who's the MVP. Why do they do more? I do not know. Josh Bell wins the batting title. He batted .340 for a damn reason. That man is a monster. Mike Trout far behind at .314. Christian Yelich batted .333 in the National League for the Milwaukee Brewers. And folks, if you have not yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more MLB The Show 21 here on the channel. Let's go through our entire team, starting with the starting pitchers. Shohei Ohtani, 4.29 ERA this season. The batting for Ohtani was not good this year. .227 average, 19 home runs, 56 RBI. We need to get that going next year for Ohtani. Berrios, 3.94 ERA, started the year tremendously, finished out not too hot. Trevor Bauer, still the best pitcher in the major leagues in my opinion. 3.07 ERA. Man had an incredible year for us. 16-10 record. For the former Cy Young, Sandy Alcantara. I didn't know Alcantara did that well this year. 2.93 ERA. Man was a beast. I'm excited for Alcantara for the future. Now this is where it gets tricky. Patrick Sandoval, 5.15 ERA, 9-10 record. Did not do well this season. We might look to move on. Now, Jose Suarez is our long reliever. He's a starting pitcher. He wasn't great either, gave up the grand slam in the ALCS. I don't know about that. I think it might finally be time for Choo Choo, our first round pick in the first year of this franchise. If you were there for that video, shout out to you, but I think it might be Choo Choo time. We might have to get aboard the Choo Choo train. I'm just saying. Going to the relief pitching, Aaron Bummer, unfortunately, is out for 6 months, but 3.51 ERA this season was great. He's on a torn rotator cuff right now. Sucks for him. AJ Minter's finally going to come back soon. In 3 to 4 weeks, he will be officially clear. He only pitched 5 games this year. He just got hurt really early on in the season. Aaron Slegers, 4.04 ERA for him for the 6'10 righty. Michael Feliz, this dude just sucked this year. I'm going to keep it a buck with you. He was terrible in the postseason. I think Feliz is going to walk in the offseason. I'm good. Brett Martin did a solid job coming in from Baltimore for our team. I'm not too mad about the performance Martin did have this year coming through during the trade deadline. Dylan Floro, didn't really use him much. He was more of a AAA guy. He did all right in the 6 games he did appear in the regular season. He was Bummer's replacement for that final game in the postseason. And Zach Britton, we used him some, 4.5 ERA for him this season. He's just not the guy that he was back for the Baltimore Orioles way back then. And that does it for the relief pitchers. Obviously, the closers now. Raciel Iglesias is in our official closer, but he had another really solid season. 2.86 ERA. He was a setup man this year for us. His stamina is not great, so that really affected his performance in the postseason. And Lon Rivas, in his first ever year in the majors, did all right. 4.05 ERA for the lefty out of Michigan. And those, of course, we got Kirby Yates too. I forgot about him. 38-year-old, I thought he was 40, but 5.23 ERA, fell off from his All-Star season last year for us. I don't think we're going to bring back Kirby. He's a 63 overall, probably one of the worst guys on our team. He was really still on the team, just out of respect for what the man has done for the game. On to the position players. Keibert Ruiz, the man has never batted over .240 as a starting catcher. That's a problem. 235 average. I don't know. Mitch Garver in the postseason was better than Keibert Ruiz. That's trouble, because Garver's 34 years old. He wasn't supposed to be the guy. By the way, we had Yachty too, but who cares about that? Josh Bell's the best hitter in the game. There's no doubt about it. He batted .340 this year. He got a big contract extension, 30 home runs, 99 RBI. That's the man. CJ Cron played 1 game. It was the final game of the season, so there's that. I guess he's technically on our team. Hey, my Diamond Dynasty sell order went through. Jeremiah Jackson, I'm going to stick with him. He's still 23 years old. Batted .240 last year. Wasn't as good as his rookie campaign, but still an okay season for Jeremiah Jackson. He's still a very good fielder. The third baseman, Anthony Rendon. He's set to make $40 million next season. He batted .293, 43 home runs, 98 RBI for Tony. It was a resurgence for Rendon. I am going to look at his trade value, just considering it's going to be at an all-time high right now because we have this man. Drew Mendoza, he still hasn't gotten it figured out, but I think it might be time for Mendoza. Corey Seager was not the guy he was in 2024, but still an okay 2025 for him. Batted .288. I mean, he wasn't an all-star, but he's still a tremendous player. Kyron Paris, I think I got that name right. Keep an eye out on him. He might be making his way to the major leagues this season. He's 22 years old, 79 overall. A potential. The man is solid. We will see what we will do with Paris. Just keep an eye out on him. He might be a guy to look forward to in the next couple years. Willie Calhoun, he's okay. He's a bench bat. That's that simple. Bat .229. He's a guy who can bring some power off the bench. We got him from Texas a couple years ago. I like Willie Calhoun. He's serviceable off the bench, 30 years of age. He's a guy we can always plug into a spot if we need him to. Same with Randall Poulson. Randall Poulson's kind of like the right-handed version of Willie Calhoun. They're both interchangeable. Whenever we need a guy to go to fill in for an outfielder, Calhoun and Poulson are there to fill in. That's the left fielders. On to the center fielders. Mike Trout, best player in the game, I would say. 314 average, 45 home runs, 115 RBI. Someone say he got robbed of the MVP. I mean, what, Meadows batted .288? Trout deserved it. Joe Adell, or even Josh Bell, actually. But Joe Adell, I'm still waiting on this guy. He batted .224 last year. His trade value's nothing. I've looked. I don't know, man. Brandon Marsh, 83 overall. He's the man in right field. .278 average, 27 home runs, 76 RBI. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Brandon Marsh is everything we thought Joe Adell was going to be in this franchise mode. Nicholas Castellanos, I'm not going to lie, he wasn't the guy I thought he was going to be. .250 average, 20 homers. We're going to see what the future does hold for Castellanos later in this video. Yadier Molina, who was in our franchise, yeah, 43 years of age. He's done. Kirby Yates is going to retire as well. No one really of note retires. I think Jonathan Lucroy retired. Chris Archer retires at 37 years old. Okay, none of these guys do make the Hall of Fame, but I don't think even like Max Scherzer made the Hall of Fame, so no one really makes the Hall of Fame in this game. Michael Feliz is going to walk, Crone is going to walk, Garver most likely is going to walk as well, and same can be said about Zach Brennan. I'm not going to bring any of these four guys back to the team, and I'm going to offer arbitration, obviously, to all these guys. Brandon Marsh, the main man out this mix, Drew Mendoza, Keibert Ruiz, Brett Martin, Joe Adell. Again, I'm still waiting, but we have to bring him back, obviously, and Jose Suarez. Those guys are coming back to the team. Just a real quick look at the depth chart. This is what we got going on. Hey, man, I guess the game thinks really highly of Sandy Alcantara. Same with Jose Suarez as well. And maybe, I guess, this guy Chuck Harper in left field. I don't know. Joe Adell next year, still 79 overall. He's supposed to be. I don't know. We are going to officially move Choo Choo up, though, to the major league team. He doesn't really have that. Yeah, he's only got a fastball, curveball, slider, changeup. We'll see what Choo Choo does. I want to get him in the starting rotation this year. It's looking more and more like we're going to move on from Patrick Sandoval. Just a quick look at the bullpen for now before the start of free agency, as here we go. Liam Hendriks is the first guy I want to bring in. 37 years of age. He is getting up there in age, but he's still got a couple good years left in him. I'm going to give him a 1-year, $7 million deal to an older guy in Hendricks, but he was still an all-star. I like that move right there. And also, gonna bring in Tanner Rainey, the right-handed pitcher from the Nationals, alongside Emilio Pagan, who had a 1.85 ERA last season, or 2 years ago, and a 1.91 ERA last year. Why is no one offering this guy a deal? 4 years. Yeah, Emilio Pagan, please join this damn team. Here is the trade market for Rendon. We could get Stanton and Garrett Cole. We get Max Muncy. We get Chris Sale. There are some big names. The market is high right now for Anthony Rendon. There are big names that we could potentially get for him. If we add in Castellanos, Jack Flaherty, Aaron Judge, Jose Ramirez, Javier Baez, Ronald Acuna Jr., Contreras, Chris Bryant, Trey Turner, Arenado. How you want me to pass up on Ronald Acuna Jr.? I'm just saying, dude, Rendon and Castellanos for Acuna and Tyler Rogers. I'm sorry, but I'm doing this, man. I mean, come on, I have to do this. I gotta get Acuna. We are pairing Ronald Acuna Jr. and Mike Trout on the same team. Oh my goodness. This is gonna be a loaded squad, and Dustin May, the best player on the board in free agency. Of course he goes to the Athletics, because why not? The A's catcher and Sean Murphy, though, will leave Oakland. He will head on over to Queens to play for the Mets. Our former player in Griffin Canning goes to the South Side. He's going to play for the Chicago White Sox. And alongside Liam Hendricks, of course, leaving the White Sox over to the Angels, our new closing pitcher. It might only be for 1 year, but that is a huge dub. And of course, the man himself, Ronald Acuna Jr., only 28 years old, is now a member of the Angels, playing with Mike Trout and Brandon Marsh in the outfield. Incredible. Jesus Luzardo, the Cy Young, leaves the Athletics. He is now a Yankee. And James Karinchak, we saw him in the ALCS, goes to the Padres. He leaves the Indians. Brian Anderson goes to the St. Louis Cardinals. Jose Urquidy goes to the Mariners. So the division, like every year, keeps getting better. Urquidy is going to Seattle. And also, we pick up Emilio Pagan, really good right-handed pitcher out of the pen as well. And officially, I'm going to bring in Doug Wesley. He's going to be the backup catcher this year, probably behind Keeper Ruiz. Caleb Ferguson, the relief pitcher, the lefty, goes to the Cincinnati Reds. 4.5 ERA for him last season. Mitch Keller will head on over to the Bronx to pitch for the New York Yankees. And now we have got John Curtis, the relief pitcher, is heading on over to the Los Angeles Dodgers. 2.01 ERA last year. And Brady Singer, one of the up-and-coming pitchers in the league, the former Kansas City Royal, goes to the Mariners alongside Urquidy. That's a pretty good 1-2 punch in Seattle. Let's see if they can get Justice Sheffield back, as Kyle Lewis will go to the Toronto Blue Jays. And okay, there he is. Justice Sheffield, no longer a Mariner. He's going to waste his career in Pittsburgh. Free agents never go there, but he's going to the Pirates. And Jared Walsh, the former Angel, heads on over to the Brewers. He's got amazing stats on paper, but his average and all is not very good. Yordan Alvarez going to the Braves. Walsh is like a 90-something overall, but he just doesn't do well in the sim, and that's really why I got rid of him in the first place. Yanni Chirinos moving on over to Tampa Bay to play for the Rays. And currently, this is what our lineup is looking like. We're going to have Marsh, Acuna, Trout, Bell, Seager, Jackson, Mendoza, and Ruiz. This is, of course, without a DH. By the way, I signed John Birdie, so that's cool. He's going to be a pinch runner. Dansby Swanson heading on over the Tigers to play for them. And wow, the Rangers get Chris Bryant and Dakota Hudson for Diego Macias. Macias, a young superstar. That's a big trade. And Ozzy Albies is now a member of the Twins. Big move right there. And Carlos Rondon goes to the Red Sox. Boston has been competing, looking to finally get over that hump this year. Maybe Rondon will help them. Kevin Biggio going to the Reds. 93 overall. Big player right there in Biggio. Nick Solak leaving the Rangers, going to Chicago to play for the Cubs. And Edwin Rios, pretty big pickup right there for the New York Mets. He got a big deal, $100 million over 6 years. Bo Bichette leaving the Toronto Blue Jays, head on over to the Cubs as well. Chicago making some big moves. And Keston Hiura goes to the Mariners. So Seattle, one of the big time players in this free agency. And Nick Senzel goes to the Athletics. So again, the AL West ever so active in free agency and in the offseason. And our former second baseman in David Fletcher is going to the Bronx. He is going to be a New York Yankee. Kyle Tucker goes to the Milwaukee Brewers. 19 home runs for him last season. Another good year last year for Tucker, going to the Brewers. And Luis Robert going to the Pirates. Man, the Pirates finally getting some free agents with him in Sheffield this offseason. And the Brewers, again, still keep getting guys. Austin Hayes will get a 4-year deal from them. And the Pirates do it again. They get rid of Connor Plinkington. They pick up Ahmed Rosario from the Indians, who we just saw in that ALCS. Michael Brosseau will head on over to the Red Sox as well. And Garrett Hampson gets traded for Reyes Montora. The two teams separated by the Bay Bridge make a deal right there in the offseason. And Carter Kieboom, the Red Sox, still picking up guys. They get Carter Kieboom now. The former National is going to Boston. And wow, big move. Vladdy leaves the division, or he stays in the division. He goes to the damn Orioles. Oh man, we are now looking at trades here for Patrick Sandoval and Kiva Ruiz. There are deals out there, Wander Franco among those big names, but Franco doesn't make sense. The one that does is Adley Rutschman, and I hate trading within the division, but I'm going to do it. Sandoval and Ruiz for our guy, Adley Rutschman. I've been big on him for a while, and we also pick up Mitch Garver as well. And there's Choo Choo onto the starting rotation, but the Rutschman move makes sense. Trust me, we were already going to move on from Sandoval. Rutschman is a better version of Keibert Ruiz. He's still a switch hitter. I like what we see out of Rutschman here, the former #1 overall pick in the draft by the Baltimore Orioles. Welcome to the team, Adley Rutschman. I'm going to go through the division real quick here. Those are the Houston Astros, still a very solid team. The rotation, not as good as it has been, but still pretty solid. Musgrove, McCullers, McKenzie, and Domingo Germán, still pretty solid out there in Houston. For the Athletics, our biggest competition by far. Look at this team. Pawson, Senzel, Baez, Olsen, Chapman, Schwarber. Oh my goodness, and the pitching keeps getting better. Dustin May, 95 overall, is now on Oakland. Frankie Montas, Spencer Turnbull, Sean Manaea, and the Mariners keep improving as well. They pick up Keston here in the offseason. Julio Rodriguez is back from injury. Bregman's still there. They picked up Brady Singer. They got Jose Urquidy. They did lose their guy in Sheffield, but the Mariners are still amazing and the Rangers still suck. Now, they are getting better, but the Rangers are still levels behind some of these teams in this division. I mean, Ruiz batting 8th for them. They got Chris Taylor now. Sandoval is their second best starter. It's going to be tough for the Rangers this year, but that's all right. They will forever suck. And folks, that'll do it for the offseason here. Episode number 88 of the Los Angeles Angels franchise mode here on MLB 21 The Show. We picked up Ronald Acuna Jr. to the team. By the way, Mike Trout has officially been moved to a left fielder, considering he's the 3rd worst defensive outfielder right now on our team. Acuna is a lot better defensively, and Brandon Marsh has got a monster of an arm. He's got a cannon of an arm. I think 97 arm strength. So we're going to keep Marsh in right. I'm moving Acuna to center, and Mike Trout will play left field, where if you put him as a left fielder now in this game, he is back to a 99 overall. So folks, that will do it. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you are ready for opening day 2026 with the new look Los Angeles Angels. Again, folks, thank y'all for watching. We're not going anywhere, by the way, with this series. Thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.